invitation, 2 from open qualifying. Any MTRA member can come out and try to qualify to make the field. But the real story today could be the track and the high jumps. Here with more on that is Army Armstrong.
Well, Gary, one of the big questions today, it seems to keep popping up, is the question of ramps. Now, those of you that follow monster trucks, you've heard us use the terminology before. That's the incline the trucks take before they go over the obstacles, in this case, the car. What they're running into here, the second ramp, if you will, is too steep. It's giving the guys way, way too much air. Now, what that does is throw them over a big open pit after the first set of cars. The second ramp is causing all kind of problems here today and gets you in a whole lot of trouble if you don't watch it.
Army, we have an example of that from qualifying. Here is Snakebite, the 91 Ford with that fiberglass doghouse. He gets in trouble coming over the second ramp right here.
Yeah, when he lands, his name comes true. He is Snakebit. Left rear tire goes away. Now the left front, he's got his hands full trying to get ready for the first round, Gary.
And also with some problems, another Ford, Bigfoot, and under that two-frame truck is Andy Brass.
Yeah, but Gary, the word we're getting, they're thrashing, trying to get the drivetrain squared away. Will they make the first round? We're going to have to wait and see.
Here are the pairings for round 1. Barefoot, the fast qualifier against King Crunch, and Snakebite, the open qualifier against No Problem. Then it's Equalizer against another open qualifier, Wild Thing, and Taurus will take on Nightlife. Also in round 1, USA 1 against Bigfoot, Chevrolet against Ford, and the Carolina Crusher against Nightmare. Round 1 competition from Memphis Motorsports Park. Here is another two-frame truck, Barefoot, the Chevrolet Fred Schaefer out of Pontoon Beach, Illinois.
Gary, you know, you're giving us a rundown a moment ago on the pairings as he goes up against Scott Stevens out of Texas. Well, the Barefoot truck is your current national champion with one of the sanctioning bodies, the SRO pays people, so he's carrying their colors too. Chevrolet's a pair. Let's see what's going to happen. Advantage should go to the Barefoot by virtue of being the new chassis set up.
But look at the air that he has.
Tremendous hang time by Schaefer. He completely cleared both sets of cars, Gary Lee.
Well, Barefoot in a two-frame truck, a Chevrolet, knocks out another Chevrolet, the Auto Value King Crunch.
Boy, Scott Stevens with the cantilever truck ran him hard, but the new truck, the new technology, we're going to be talking about that the rest of the day. Watch the amount of time he stays near. Look at that.
Yeah, look at the air time. When you talk about technology, you're talking about suspensions. You can see the suspension work here on Barefoot. He takes the victory, a $100,000 truck that took 6 months to build. Let's go back and talk to the driver, Army.
Fred, you're going through this first round on a unique track and a unique situation. What's it like out there?
It seems like I'm getting a lot of air. It's kind of hard to tell. It's a split-second thing, but it seems like I've got a lot of hang time up there.
What about the transmission? You run a different transmission, a lot of these guys. Is that an advantage to you on the start?
I think it is, but right now I'm messing with the gears and transfer case. I really don't know what I'm supposed to do on this track here. I'm trying to feel it out, so I might be changing that between rounds.
And look at a home state hero. Here is young Greg Holbrook in the GMC Equalizer. He comes in from Springfield, Tennessee.
Well, Gary, one of the interesting stories this afternoon from Memphis will be the truck he's going up against. The first time Jim Booker ever sat in a monster truck was yesterday afternoon. He just motored around a pit area, and he qualified for one of the 2 open spots. But who does he draw? None other than one of the baddest of the bad, the Equalizer.
Talking about going to school and getting an education. Look at the air time in the Equalizer. He almost gets disqualified by going out of bounds. He has a problem, and Booker's going to take the victory.
The first time ever in open competition, qualifies to run with the big boys and beats one of the biggest, but the big story might be right there. Holbrook looks like the whole rear suspension is collapsed, Gary.
Well, you saw the air that he got over the first jump in the set of cars. He came down, almost went out of bounds. We'll look again. Now watch the air. He comes down, he's headed out of bounds. He has to stay on the throttle, tries to get the truck lined up for the second jump, and he has trouble right there.
Gary, the old second jump is what caught him. He hit those ramps a little bit crooked and caused the whole rear suspension to collapse. Now, the owner of the truck, Gary Cook, goes over there checking it. And, the word we're getting, they've done a lot more than suspension damage. We understand the engine's actually been damaged. It says behind the driver. And the word we're getting is that Gary Cook and some of his backyard engineering may have caught up with him. Some pieces really broke. A lot of pieces broke, Gary. But let's take a ride with him and see what it's all about.
It's a short ride, but a rough ride inside the cab of Equalizer with young Greg Holbrook. A good crowd on hand here for the four-wheel off-road Jamboree Spring Nationals, bathed in sunshine here at Memphis Motorsports Park as we take a look at Wayne Smozanik, the 1990 Chevy called Nightlife out of Jupiter, Florida.
Well, people are familiar with the name of the truck, Nightlight. Dave Wysoric used to own it. Wayne just bought the truck, and who's he going up against in the first round? Jack Willman Jr. out of Granite City, Illinois, with the Tonka truck they call the Taurus.
That'll be a tall order for Wayne to knock out Taurus here in round 1 in Memphis.
We keep talking about the technology of the truck. One of the newer technology trucks will be the Tonka truck, and I want you to notice how quick it moves. But the left front seems to tuck on him real bad. Look at this. Again, both jumps, the left front nosed over, Gary.
Well, not once, but twice, Jackie Willman Jr. almost went out of bounds. Let's watch again. He has to fight that thing. That's like a race car pushing through a corner, and you're struggling to get that thing turned.
You know, you're not only dealing with left and rights and ups and downs in monster truck racing, you're dealing with pitch and yaw, too, Gary. That's a perfect example.
Now you're using those aviation terms. Let's talk to young Jack.
Jack, the landings look so critical on you, but you're just clipping the last vehicles in both jumps.
Yeah, I only run in second gear on the transmission on that run. I could have probably used high gear and it would put me out there farther and it'd been a little bit smoother landing, but I didn't know, and I was just trying to make that race.
Well, we'll see young Jack Willman Jr. in round 2, but right now, as Everett Jasper in the USA 1 shirt standing on top of the junkers, he is lining up his driver, Steve Wilkie, USA 1.
Yeah, but Gary, look who he's going up against. You talk about a classic battle. No love lost. White truck, Chevrolet. Blue truck is Ford. Andy Brass going against Steve Wilkie. The old-time rivalry stays alive in Memphis. Ford versus Chevrolet. Let's kick back and just watch this one.
Steve Wilkie in the white USA 1, the blue, Bigfoot. Oh, Andy Brass gets the hole shot.
Boy, Brass drilled him on the starting line. Wilkie trying to pull back.
Wilkie was never in this event. Once that Christmas tree went green, Brass was gone.
Oh, Gary, you're exactly right. When that light turned green, that big blue Ford went right after the USA 1 Chevrolet. Everett Jasper under the truck trying to figure it out. I think what happened here was Steve Wilkie just flat made Andy Brass mad, told him he's going to beat him off the start line, and Brass no way was going to concede to that.
Wilkie may have some explaining to do. Let's eavesdrop on the conversation with owner and driver.
I feel bad. But again, I didn't see him. I didn't see him until he was here. So I must have been right with him, you know.
Well, obviously, Steve didn't see the same race that we saw because he was not right with him. Bigfoot takes the victory, and here is your winner, Andy Brass with Army Armstrong.
Well, Gary, in any motorsport, mind games is a part of it. Andy, I understand he came up to you before you ran, said he's going to drill you on the starting line. You didn't let that happen.
That's right. You know, in a lot of this game here, there's going to be a lot of real close racing, so you got to play the light real good. You know, I hit the light right. You know, I'm pretty sure, you know, I was almost positive in my mind that we pulled a green light. You know, they thought we red lighted, but I was almost positive it was green, and it was. So that's all it took, you know. And like I say, it's the light. I think it's going to make a lot of racing here today.
The action will continue from Memphis Motorsports Park, and what other color would you expect in the birthplace of the Blues? Nationals, Army Armstrong and Gary Lee. Round 1 action continuing. To your left, the Carolina Crusher. To the right, Nightmare.
Gary, what we're going to be looking at is Steve Haas, the Nightmare, the same truck he's been running for about 6 or 7 years. It's a GMC, but he goes up against a brand new Gary Porter prepared Wadesville, North Carolina-based Carolina Crusher. Fiberglass body, really looking good, Gary.
Well, Nightmare looks like he got the good jump, but here comes Gary Porter, the Carolina Crusher. Nightmare's in trouble.
Okay, perfect example on this run. The older suspension trucks are too stiff. They're rigid. That's why Hess had problems. Meanwhile, Porter goes through with the new sponge-type suspension, and he'll go into the next round.
Well, a new paint job to go along with that new fiberglass body truck, and here is the good jump off the start, and here's the difference right here as they land that first time.
Okay, you notice how Porter stays close to the ground. Hess is bouncing all over. The race is over for all intents and purposes, Gary Lee.